If charcuterie is your idea of heaven on a plate, and if cheese boards make your heart go pitter-patter, feast your eyes on these beautiful boards. They are just a few delicious creations from Melissa Bolton. The food stylist and writer has a brand new book where you can find all of these ideas and more. It's simply called On Boards. And Lisa is in our Your Morning Kitchen. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
When I met you, I said, which was truth, is I love you already because you speak in pictures.
Yes.
And everybody thinks they know how to put a charcuterie board together, but you kind of do the same thing over and over. You need some inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what the book is about. It's like a reflection of how we like to eat. So this is sort of, to me, there's something magnetic about a cheese board. People lean in, they linger, they are drawn to it. And I think it just is really conversational and just a very warm feeling with a cheese board.
You've thought of all aspects, and we'll get to some of these in a minute, but first of all, you have a diagram in your book, which I found so helpful, which shows you the correct pattern, and there are patterns, for slicing, not cutting cheese.
That's
Why
true.
slicing, not cutting?
Well, I think for me, I like to keep cheeses whole as long as possible. They're going to maintain their flavor longer. You can reuse them. And I like to encourage people to take as much as they want. But there is a bit of an art sometimes to kind of getting so you get a little bit of rind, you get just the right slice. So that's where I sort of, on the book, I talk a little bit about how you can do that.
Yeah, you have a picture of it there. Because normally I just stick a sharp knife with it and tell people to go at it. But that's maybe not the best option.
Some of the beauty is in getting a bit of that rind on the outside. And I think there's a lot of flavor in that people sometimes avoid. So.
Okay, speaking of flavors, let's go through the ones on this first board.
Okay, this is my Spanish board. This is an ode to like tapas-style eating. We've got beautiful flavors here with some romesco, some quince paste, Spanish chorizo, which is like cured garlic, smoked paprika. We've got Marcona almonds, like nature to Spain. So this is really, to me, like if you're having friends over, it speaks to all sorts of different flavors.
And I love this idea. You have blue cheese inside fruit, inside a date.
I think people think they don't like blue cheese, and this is a really great way to introduce them to blue cheese.
Those people are wrong.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with the blue cheese.
Exactly.
The
so
bluer
this
the better.
is just a date that we've sliced open here, and you want to remove the pit from the date. So, you don't want anyone breaking a tooth on that. And then we're just going to slice off a little bit of blue cheese, tuck it in there, just like that.
Easy.
And there's the sweetness and the funk, and place that on, wrap it in a little bit of prosciutto or Iberico ham, and you've got that salty, sweet flavor, and I think it'll get people converted on blue cheese.
And I feel like because you've done it by region, it might be even easier to shop.
Yes, absolutely. Head to your Spanish section of your deli, and you'll be able to pick up a lot of these things.
Okay, let's move on to this one, because although we often think of slicing our cheese, you've created an option where we can dip.
Well, I think the fondue is the original cheese board. So I was a child of the 80s. My parents would have fondue parties.
I remember
show up
those.
with the fondue forks. So this is just a bit of an elevated version of that. We've gone away from sort of crackers and moved with some baguette here. You could use a French loaf cubed. And then we've got some interesting dips. So we've got some green beans, some broccolini, and purple cabbage.
And the cabbage, it looks beautiful. I thought it was just a garnish.
No, it's so great. I mean, the fondue cheese, which is Swiss and Gruyere, is very rich. So the cabbage, the crunch, it works really nice together.
Yeah, and you were mentioning gluten-free, but as well as for anybody who's on a keto diet, this is a good option as well.
You can build your own bite with your guests. So whatever you're into, whatever you like, you get to control that.
It is all I can do not to be eating all of these plates because I need to keep talking. And then this was a really creative idea, not to mention some beautiful suggestions. Breakfast boards.
Breakfast. Okay, so when you have overnight guests, this is the way you start your morning. I find breakfast can be tricky sometimes because it's sort of made to order, like how do you like your eggs, or pick pancakes 3 or 4 at a time. This, your guests are still sleeping. You can come in, make a little bagel board. We have savory and sweet, so no matter what your mood is. And I feel like if you've got, kids in town for a hockey tournament, this is a grab and go. And then I think if you're just having a lazy morning with your guests, everyone can sort of grab their coffee.
You said this one is sweet. What is this?
This is pickled shallots, so super easy. Make the night before. You've got some thinly sliced shallots, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sugar, shake, and in your fridge, pop them on the next day.
And the color is so pretty from this, Lisa.
Yeah, you get a bit of a rosé color going with that, so I think that's a really nice way.
This idea here that you've done is just one of the things I love about your book, is that you take, everybody has cucumber and tomato in their fridge, but it's a really beautiful and creative presentation style.
I think just taking advantage of what Mother Nature does best. Don't mess with it too much. Lots of color.
All right, we got through all the information. I'm going back for the blue cheese.
Yes.
You can find today's recipes on our website. Those are at yourmorning.ca. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, let's nosh.